What's going on, my fellow A-Plusers? Welcome back once again to a brand new episode of A-Plus Hero Report, your weekly stop for your Marvel, DC television, and movie news right here on our YouTube page. It is I, your host, Adam Perez, back once again as we're streaming live, not only on our YouTube page, but also on Facebook as well today, ladies and gentlemen. So everybody, thank you so much for certainly joining us, wrapping up your weekend with us. It's always appreciated. Thank you very much for that, guys. Listen, it's a surprise to me too today, to be honest with you. It's very rare these days, I feel like, that we get the whole group together, to say the least. But I am so glad to certainly see not only Stuart back as always, but of course our main man Indy Uchiha in the house. Say hello to everybody. What's going on, Indy?
What's going on? It feels good to be home. Now I know how it feels like when The Rock comes back to the WWE every 10 years.
Finally. Yeah, man, it's good to have you back, Indy. Yeah, and I know a lot of people have been asking about you, where you've been and stuff, man. So it's certainly good to see you here. I'm sure Stuart's probably like, take some of this off my plate, man. Appreciate you coming through.
Yeah, definitely. Hey, big up to Stuart though. Stuart's been holding it down. The Hero Report, seeing how they've been. Let me see how to say this. Much more entertaining without me there.
Oh, stop it.
I wouldn't say that at all. I would say like the Hero Reports are always like the best when it's all three of us.
Yeah, I think those are definitely our best shows. But guys, we're all here for you today, and we've got ourselves about a good 6 topics that we're going to be breaking down for you. So it's definitely going to be a packed show. But before we go ahead and get into our main topics, a couple things I want to go ahead and get out of the way. Listen, guys, if you guys have any live viewer questions that you certainly want to go ahead and submit over to us, go ahead and feel free to go ahead and send them over to our email account at aplusopinions@gmail.com. If there's a particular question that you have in regards to maybe any of the topics that we talk about, or any news that you've heard throughout the week that you want to go ahead and submit over and ask us, certainly go ahead and submit them over. Again, aplusopinions@gmail.com. You can send them throughout the week if you certainly like to, but just know at the end of the episode, we certainly will focus on your questions. And of course, if you don't, every once in a while, we'll jump into the comment section and see what some of you guys are certainly saying. But who is in the live chat with us? Let's go ahead and give some shout outs here. Bacon and Sushi, always changing his name. Sexy Get My Belly. We got Power Rangers in your area certainly coming through as well. And of course, Shadow Nova making their presence known as always. So thank you very much, guys, for certainly coming through. And of course, if we get any stragglers, definitely make them feel welcome. So guys, I'm honestly really pumped to have the whole crew here, man. We've got Indy, who's been doing the Swamp Thing reviews for us. We've got Mandalorian videos that are certainly on our YouTube site also. So if you guys are looking for a great place for your nerd pop culture news and being kept up to date, definitely go ahead and subscribe over to us. But guys, before we get into any of our main topics, let me ask you, are there any honorable mentions or anything that you've seen this weekend that maybe didn't necessarily make the cut that you want to go ahead and talk about briefly? You guys have any by any chance?
Animaniacs was pretty good. Just released.
Oh, it premiered? It did premiere? Yep. Nice. I haven't checked out the first episode though.
I personally really enjoyed it, but if you ask a lot of other people, they'll say one of two things. They'll either say, 1, it's really good, or 2, it's political.
I'll go ahead, Indy.
Nah, he called me. He was like, "It's political." I'm like, "I need to go watch that."
I mean, but I feel like just the Animaniacs humor. I feel like if we even go back to Animaniacs originally, I'm pretty sure there was probably some sort of political content, right? Like I feel like it was always a grown-up show, even for the idea of it being animated, you know?
Yeah, exactly. That's why I find it funny when people try to use that term as like a complaint for the show, because it's like that's been part of the show since the 90s. The way they satire it, kind of modern things going on now. It's like that's exactly what they did back in the 90s.
Right. Yeah, definitely. I'm gonna go check that out. I didn't even know that was back yet, so I definitely got to go check that out. For me, man, it was my man. It's my man Goku getting the perfect Susanoo, doing his best Sasuke impression, and the writer stealing from Naruto to give Goku new abilities in the latest chapter of the manga.
I mean, Indy, are we ever going to see this in animation form, man? Are we ever going to see Dragon Ball Super come back?
There is supposed to be an announcement coming soon, as far as that is, and hopefully with the end of this Moro chapter that just came out, we'll start to get more of the animation coming back through. I'm looking forward to it because after I just read what I read, I need to see this, you know what I'm saying, in full motion.
No, I feel you, man. Because even though I don't keep up with the manga or anything like that, like I have seen like clips and like just some articles that talk about what they're exploring, and I'm just thinking to myself, man, I gotta see that on the screen at one point in time.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, and R.I.P. Naruto.
What happened there?
I'm not gonna say no more than that because the people who haven't read the latest manga.
Oh,
you know
okay, gotcha. I was like, oh no, 2020 strikes again. But, all right.
Oh my gosh, that'd be a way to kill off Naruto. He just dies of
COVID.
Oh no.
Oh my god.
Oh no! Quick shout out, real quick, goes out to Gabriel for making his presence known today. Appreciate you coming through, Gabriel, today. A quick honorable mention, also, The Last of Us, the HBO Max series, has officially gotten the green light. So while it certainly was in development, the HBO executives have certainly seen some things, have certainly know exactly what they're going to be getting, and have actually greenlit the series itself. So it's happening. It's no longer like just a pipe dream. It's definitely coming our way from the head writers of The Last of Us and Chernobyl. For me, that's probably one of my more anticipated series that we're going to be getting. Honestly, I'm really looking forward to that. I haven't played a lick of the video game at all, but I heard so many great things about it that I'm ready to dive into this world. Oh, R.I.P. Kirby Morrow. See, 2020 did strike again. I tell you, man. I tell you.
That was the guy from Gundam Wing, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Did he voice Goku in the I forgot who had Ocean? That's what it was. Yeah, the Ocean dub. Did he voice Goku in the Ocean dub?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I got it.
Okay. Let's see here. And then last two things I wanted to go ahead and bring up. I was never a big Lava Girl and Shark Boy guy. I think I missed that. I think that missed like my age range. It's not something I grew up with, but they got a new Netflix film coming out. I thought it would be pretty cool. They even highlighted some brand new photos and everything. Were you guys ever into a Lava Girl and Shark Boy? Was that something that was up your alley, or no? Did you guys miss that too?
Plead the fifth.
You got a closet fan here. It's okay.
I watched it, wasn't a fan, but I do really like Robert Rodriguez, and I really like his Spy Kids movies. So, or Spy Kids 1 and 2. I didn't really like 3, so I might give this a shot. See if it's any good.
Are these the same actors that played them as kids growing up? No?
That is not Taylor Lautner.
Okay. Oh, is that who it was?
That was Taylor Lautner who played Shark Boy originally.
I didn't even realize that. Okay. But yeah, I thought that was interesting. Netflix has got a new series, or a new film, I should say. Pedro Pascal is even in it from Wonder Woman and stuff. So I don't know if he's playing the villain or an ally or what. I haven't seen the trailer, but yeah, I just wanted to go ahead and showcase those brand new images in case there were some Lava Girl and Shark Boy fans out there for sure. And then last but not least, we have our first set photos, guys, from the Miss Marvel set, which I thought was really interesting. Definitely goes to show that filming has in fact taken place for Miss Marvel. They're currently in production right now, but we even got some set photos from justjared.com. Every time I see that website, Just Jared, I think of Jared from Subway. I don't know why. But Just Jared wind up releasing some brand new photos from Miss Marvel. And it looks like we've got Iman Vellani, who's playing the main character, dressed up as Captain Marvel herself. It looks like it's for something for Halloween. What do you guys take these photos as?
If they're doing a Miss Marvel like they normally do it, that might just be a regular day of her doing something. Dressing up like Captain Marvel.
She just regularly dresses up and stuff?
She's that much of a fangirl.
Oh, okay.
That she just does stuff like that.
Okay, yeah, that feels like more fan. Oh, go ahead, sir.
I was gonna say she's either going to a party or maybe she's getting ready to go to a convention.
Maybe. I mean, it is at night, so I think you might be onto something. And like, considering the fact that the other guy isn't dressed up in a Halloween costume, like I'm just thinking, like, why is she just the only person in a Halloween costume in this set, in this photo? So I'm wondering, is it Halloween, or maybe it is something like you said, Indy? Maybe she's just rocking it because she's that big of a fangirl.
Yeah,
that's pretty funny. But yeah, guys, our very first set photos from Miss Marvel.
I need that mask.
It looks like a pretty cool mask, huh? Like, I would definitely rock that as a Halloween mask for sure. I'd probably just do an entire set of A+ Hero Report rocking that thing, to be honest with you. But yeah, I love it, guys. But like at the end of the day, guys, we definitely want to know your thoughts. Now that you've seen the first glimpses of the set photos from Miss Marvel, definitely go ahead and let me know your thoughts in regards to what do you guys think's going on in that scene. Certainly go ahead and let us know. All right, guys, let's go ahead and dive into the main topics. You guys ready to go ahead and get into the nitty gritty of today's show?
Oh, hell yeah.
Awesome. All right, guys. Well, the first topic that we got to talk about is, look, we just talked about this last week, if I'm not mistaken, Stuart, honestly, where we did talk a little bit about Wonder Woman and exactly what the future was going to hold for that film, right? Was Warner Brothers going to stick to that December 2020 dates, or were they going to go ahead and perhaps maybe push Wonder Woman into the spring of 2021? And you know what, Stuart? I know I asked you a hypothetical question last week about what would you do if Bob Iger or Bob Chapek called you up and said, hey, Stuart, we need to know what to do with Wonder Woman 1984. What are your suggestions? I didn't know they really called you, man, and actually asked for your advice, because they clearly took a majority of your advice that you asked, that you told them to do last week. So let's go ahead and just dive right into this brand new article. This is from Variety, letting us know that Wonder Woman 1984 to debut both on HBO Max and in movie theaters all at the same time. It says audiences will get to see Wonder Woman 1984 on Christmas Day. After all, after much speculation, Warner Brothers announced that the superhero sequel will debut on the streaming service HBO Max on December 25th, the same day it will open in U.S. movie theaters. Internationally, where HBO is not available, Wonder Woman will premiere in cinemas 1 week earlier on December 16th. And then the film will stream on HBO Max for a month at no additional cost to subscribers. Now, I am curious if that's just internationally, where it's only going to be on HBO Max for a month at no additional cost, or if that's going to be overall. I'm having a feeling that that's going to be overall, to be honest with you. It says, as we navigate these unprecedented times, we've had to be innovative in keeping our business moving forward while continuing to super serve our fans. This is an amazing film that really comes to life on the big screen, and working with our partners in the exhibition community, we will provide that option to consumers in the US where movie theaters are in fact open. We realize that a lot of consumers can't go back to the movies due to the pandemic, so we also want to give them an option to see Wonder Woman in our HBO Max, on our HBO Max platform. So crazy times that we're certainly living in, Stuart. They even, I believe this is, let me see, I believe Patty Jenkins even mentioned it. He says, we appreciate how patient audiences have been, and given the great anticipation for Wonder Woman, we are grateful to be able to make this terrifically entertaining movie widely available in these challenging times. So, yep, looks like they went ahead and pulled the trigger on it. Now, this feels like this has huge implications, not only for streaming services, but movie theaters certainly going forward. But I love the decision. I truly do. I think you're killing two birds with one stone. Granted, this movie is going to lose a ton of money, but I think overall, the idea here is really to have a longer lasting effect when it comes to your streaming service, and hopefully use Wonder Woman 1984 as a great launching point for the HBO Max to go ahead and pull in some subscribers. So definitely probably beneficial more in the long run than it certainly is financially as of right now. So Stuart, since they clearly called you, those over at Warner Brothers clearly called you and asked you what your idea was. One of your ideas was, hey, just go ahead and throw it on HBO Max. What do you think about this revelation that we're having, not only HBO Max, but one upping it as a theater release too?
Yeah, I think this was one of the smarter decisions they could have made. I think I mentioned last week, though, like the one slight tweak I would make, not that I'm trying to nitpick like the way they decide to go about their own business of releasing things, but yeah, I was like kind of thinking, wait on a theatrical release, wait until, release it on HBO Max for like a month like they're doing right now. But my thought was wait until theaters are fully opened up and everyone's going back to the theaters before releasing it in theaters. But I guess since they're doing it now, I mean, I'm sure, again, when theaters open up, there's no reason they can't just re-release it. So, fingers crossed for that, because I do want to see this movie in theaters for sure.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. I definitely at some point in time want to see this in theaters. I may even try and see if I can take that risky option and just jumping into a movie theater come Christmas or the day after, if there's a movie theater open. I mean, I feel like for the most part, every place that I've seen people have been saying that they felt safe in their movie theaters. So maybe for me, considering the fact that I've always wanted to see this on the big screen, maybe that'll be my first foray into this film. But let me kick this over to you, Indy. You hear this news from Warner Brothers, their decision to go ahead, do the theaters and HBO Max. What do you think about this decision from Warner Brothers? Smart move or what?
I want to ask you guys a question before I answer this right quick.
Sure.
Do you think that Mulan was seen as a success on Disney Plus?
I personally don't, and the only reason why I say that is because I thought I heard like new numbers that actually came out for Mulan. I think we reported that they made a significant amount, but I think Yahoo actually calculated their numbers incorrectly, and so it actually didn't make as much money. So I've always looked at it as I don't want to say as a failure, but just I don't think it was what they were expecting.
From what I understand, Disney was trying to say it was a success, but like people like the audience and then people who are actually like kind of like Yahoo, who was actually calculating it, were kind of correcting them on that. So I don't know. I guess it depends on who you ask.
Okay. I think of it as it depends on what you were going for as far as what you're trying to do. And if they increase their subscriber count, you know what I'm saying, significantly above what it was, regardless of how much money it made, you know, maybe that's a success. And a movie like this for a new streaming service like HBO Max, if it can get you an extra 100 million subscribers, you know, because their free trial is what, on like a couple of days? Is it like 7-day free trial?
I think it might be about 7 days. I think it might be right.
If it's something where you can get enough people to subscribe and stick around and have this, because we all know we're going to want to watch that movie more than once. Definitely going to watch that movie more than once. So maybe that's what they deem as success and not, you know, the dollars that come off of it. So this is probably a very good move, especially if you're saying it might be like it is and it's only going to be on there for a month. That to me, that's a very smart move, because then it intrigues people to rush in to go see the movie. It's a better layout than what they did with Mulan, letting people see it for free early, and then, you know, with paying for it early and then releasing it for free later. If you would have just went, you subscribe to Disney Plus and you get to see this movie for a month, if you're a subscriber in that month, and then it's going to be gone, I'm thinking the numbers would have been way crazier than what they were. And that's honestly what I think Wonder Woman is going to do for HBO Max, just from following that format.
And you definitely might be right in regards to that. They probably did get the opportunity to look at what Disney wind up doing with Mulan, and definitely came up with a different game plan this time around. But you do make a good point, Indy, in regards to it really helping their growth of their subscriber base. I mean, there's another article out there from Variety that talks about whether or not it was a pretty good option. And it says though the film is foregoing substantial box office returns and will likely end up losing money. Wonder Woman did cost $200 million to make and many million more to actually market it. Leaning into the HBO Max of things became the best option because it allowed them to get the movie out in a timely manner while promoting a streaming service that struggled to make waves. It says rival studios believe that Warner Brothers, which is under pressure to make HBO Max a true rival to Netflix, had serious Hamilton envy. The company saw the success that Disney had, skipping the theatrical release for Hamilton and going straight to the service. So they also say this is they're going to make less money for the greater good of building HBO Max. This is putting the long-term future of the company ahead of its profits. It's far less about driving new subscribers as it is about getting people to know that HBO Max exists. They have people who pay for HBO Max and don't use it. The whole initiative is getting people over to the HBO side Max of things. So yeah, and it does also go on to say that there is a free 7-day trial that you mentioned also, Indy. So yeah, it definitely feels as though they're trying to get that extra leg up when it comes to the subscriber count, because I think Disney literally just made an announcement that they have like over 70 million subscribers within like its first year, if I'm not mistaken also. So it's come a huge way within its first year of Disney Plus being around. So I can clearly see there being maybe some envy from Warner Brothers to try and quickly get to that point. And what better way to try and get there than having a movie like Wonder Woman 1984 be on that service? Do you think that this will certainly help them out, Stuart, in the long run?
I really hope so. I think if their concern is trying to get people who already have a subscription to continue to come back to HBO Max, one major change as a website that they need to do is they really need to increase their catalog a little bit, because the whole thing with Netflix and the reason why they're always limited in their properties is because they're constantly buying the license to be able to stream certain movies. So that it's always temporary, because like they don't actually own those films. But you look at Disney Plus, all the movies are on there permanently because Disney owns these films. Now you look at Warner Brothers, like overall catalog of films, it's huge. And the only reason they're not putting them all on their website now is because they want to, they like the strategy better of releasing some 1 month, taking them out, and then releasing new ones the next month. I just think Warner Brothers should just go ahead and release it all on their website at once and stop like switching them in and out.
They definitely need to do something. Wonder Woman is not going to keep people sticking around. It'd be different if you came in for Wonder Woman and then there was some hot series, like weekly series or streamable series that was on there that you stuck around for. I think that's what they're missing. Because like with Disney Plus, you might have came to check out Mulan or Hamilton, but then you messed around and stayed around for Mandalorian. Like there was always something to check out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely do think, like, for me, I love my HBO Max app, to be honest with you. Like, I out of all the streaming apps that I use, it's easily in my top 3, next to Netflix and maybe something else. But like for like Disney Plus, for me, the only reason why I've been using Disney Plus right now is for The Mandalorian. Like when I look at their catalog, well, yes, it is in fact Disney. Disney hasn't really given me too much of anything, I want to say, like new within the past year that I've personally have been really drawn to, honestly. Like, so for me, I haven't really utilized my Disney Plus app as much as I have been when it comes to my HBO Max app. Like, what, Indy? What is it?
Man, you didn't watch that DuckTales? You didn't watch the DuckTales episode that's leading into the rebirth of Darkwing Duck?
Oh, on Disney Plus? No. No,
man, we finna get a whole new Darkwing Duck series, yo. Like
that I'm definitely gonna be looking forward to for sure. But I didn't have any interest to jump into the DuckTales animation, but definitely give me some Darkwing Duck for sure. But yeah. What I want to say though is that I do think that HBO Max is in a good position to be able to get these other subscribers on board, because I love their content. Like, I love their library. I do get the frustration with the, adding new content once a month and bringing it back in. But for me as a viewer, there's something really cool about being able to go to a just added section or, last chance section on an app, to where if there is a movie I want to see, I know it's not going to be around much longer, so I can go ahead and check that out if I want to. But HBO Max does need additional content. The one thing I love about HBO Max is they do continue to put out original series. Like, I feel like they have, because of the fact that they are HBO, they've got a ton of upcoming series in their pipeline to draw you in, so you never feel like you used it for 1 second and then 2 weeks later you're not coming back to it. So I do think that they do a good job in that. So hopefully the idea of Wonder Woman coming on board will lead into other series. Hopefully that'll lead into the Zack Snyder's Justice League that we're going to be getting for HBO Max in 2021 also. So I wouldn't be surprised if they really do wind up getting a ton of subscribers just in 2021 alone with a lot of these announcements. But let me ask you guys a question here, because I feel like there's an overall bigger picture that has to be talked about, and that is the kind of maneuvering away from movie theaters a little bit. With this movie now coming out on HBO Max in movie theaters, do you think that this is also going to be a direction that maybe Disney decides to go also? And the only reason why I say that is because, like you mentioned, Stuart, Warner Brothers and Disney owns their own licensing stuff, right? They don't have to have people license their stuff, and they don't have to go out and get other stuff. Everything is their own property, so they can benefit from just dropping their own movies that they're creating on their channel. Whereas I feel like other studios, they need that distribution when it comes to movie theaters. Do you think that this will change the movie landscape going forward when it comes to Disney and Warner Brothers?
Personally, I don't think it'll change it super drastically. What I think will happen, though, is that they'll see the success of this, and a few of their projects that may have been like somewhere written on down the line later on as movies, they might like kind of go back to it and say, hey, what if we make this into a mini series instead, so we can release it on either Disney Plus or HBO Max? But I don't think in terms of like movies, though, I don't think we're going to see like Avengers type movies being released straight to Disney Plus or anything like that. I think they're still going to have, you know, movies that are made specifically for the theaters. I just think that now with, if you know, Wonder Woman turns out to be like a huge success on HBO Max, and then same with all the upcoming Marvel TV shows, I just think they're going to be focusing more on making TV or like miniseries than they are with making the bigger budget films.
I don't know if you'll see. I can see Warner Brothers doing it. I can see Flash ending up on HBO Max, like movies like that, and then you having bigger movies, Superman, Batman, stuff like that, that they know is going to hit actually going into theaters. When it comes to Disney Plus, their mini series that they're doing, to me, feel like they're going to be more hype than the movies that we're waiting on. Because I mean, look at the promo put behind WandaVision. I'm waiting for that more than the only movie I'm waiting on other than WandaVision is the Doctor Strange movie. Like the rest of them, I can see them when they come out. I don't have to see them. But a movie like Black Widow, which now, to be honest with me, is past its time and what it should have been in the theater, could be something that's going to be really successful on Disney Plus. Maybe a Shang-Chi, you know, and them just stay with maybe introduce the lesser known names with them coming out on Disney Plus and doing the Avengers types or the real well-known characters just in the theater. I believe Disney has a format in which they could actually do that easier than what most people do. But for me, especially now in the time and the climate that we're in now, when I can go buy a 70-inch Samsung and put that on my wall for $200, get the whole sound bar and setup and stuff like that, it might benefit people more just for them to put that stuff on the streaming service.
Hey, wherever you're getting a 70-inch Samsung for $200, man, count me in. Can you put me on? I would need to find that website because
Walmart. That's Walmart's Black Friday deals, baby.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, so we'll see what happens. I will be interested to see if Disney Plus, with this news, decides, you know what, let's finally pull the trigger on Black Widow. Let's see if we can get that on streaming service. Also, I honestly would love to see that if both those movies actually were to end this year off, to be honest with you. But did they ever reschedule Black Widow for a different date, or no? It's still in limbo.
It's still in limbo. I really think Black Widow is coming to Disney Plus. I think if Wonder Woman is successful, look for Black Widow to drop like the next week.
Because I know Disney Plus have even mentioned that they are already moving some movies over, like Pinocchio. I think that they were supposed to be doing with Tom Hanks. There were like two. I think the Dalmatians movie, the 101 Dalmatians movie. I think what was the name of the villain? I can't remember what that the Emma Stone is playing. I believe that was supposed to be a theatrical. I believe that was supposed to be in theatrical release. So now Disney's actually moving them straight to Disney Plus premiere. So maybe there's a tide changing, guys. We'll see what happens here. But it definitely feels as though the main focus for WB and Disney Forward right now is in fact going to be their HBO Max service. I have a feeling that they certainly feel that that's the future for them, and hopefully all these decisions that they're making will pay off for them in the long run when it comes to revenue and subscribers. But guys, listen, we want to know your thoughts. How do you like this decision from Wonder Woman 1984, HBO Max and theaters on Christmas Day? I'm actually pretty pumped for it. I'm really looking forward to this film. So at the end of the day, these are just our opinions. We definitely want to go ahead and know yours. So let us know your thoughts in the live chat or the comment section box below. All right, guys, with that out of the way, we're going to go ahead and move on to our next topic here. And we'll stick in regards to just talking a little bit about Disney and Marvel, because one of the bigger questions, especially ever since we've got the Fox acquisition from Disney Plus, Disney, if you will, a couple of years back. I mean, we've been highly anticipating the return of X-Men, if you will, into the MCU. But one of those particular characters that a lot of people have been scratching their heads over trying to figure out what is Disney going to do with has in fact been Deadpool. But we recently just finally got some movement on the Deadpool film. So let's go ahead and bring that up here real quick. Let's see here. I should have had this ready. My bad, guys. Here we go. This actually comes to us from Deadline also, letting us know that Marvel Studios and Ryan Reynolds have tapped the Molyneux sisters to pen the sequel, and I'm probably just completely butchered their name also. It says exclusive, as Disney continues to figure out what to do with Fox properties acquired in the merger, one of the biggest IPs, Deadpool, looks to be gaining momentum. Sources tell Deadline that Bob's Burgers veterans Wendy and Lizzie Molyneux will write Deadpool 3, with Ryan Reynolds set to reprise his role as the wisecracking Marvel superhero. Writer meetings have been taking place over the past month, with Reynolds recently meeting with a handful of writers to hear their pitches for the next installment. In the end, the studio and Ryan Reynolds saw the sisters take as the perfect fit for what they wanted. The film remains in early development, but the hiring of the sisters does mark the first major step in getting the next Deadpool film into production. It says, I'm trying to see if there's any word here about the director, because it says, besides Reynolds' return, there are many factors being worked out, but sources say the film is still expected to be rated R, like the previous 2 installments. It is also expected to have a new director as well. So new director on board, potentially still supposed to be rated R, but we do have ourselves 2 brand new writers in the Molyneux sisters, as they're brought on board for Deadpool 3. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm actually kind of really intrigued in this story. Over the past couple of months, I feel like we certainly have been hearing stories of Ryan Reynolds meeting with Marvel. We have heard a couple of those meetings, honestly. So I'm glad that they finally confirmed that that's what these meetings were certainly in regards to. I didn't know exactly what they had plans for Deadpool 3. And while we still don't know necessarily the plot, I love the addition of these 2 sisters. Now, while I'm not the biggest fan of Bob's Burgers, it's not a show that I certainly sit down and watch on a weekly basis. But I definitely have seen my fair share of the show, and it's absolutely hilarious. I really do love just its sense of humor and its sensibilities for sure. And it feels like it's something that's just right up Ryan Reynolds' alley, to be perfectly honest with you. So the fact that Ryan did, in fact, have some sort of pull when it comes to this decision, working alongside with Marvel to find out who the writers are going to be. This makes me happy. I think this is a really great catch. But let me throw this over to you, Indy. You hear this, Reynolds and Marvel working together. Do you like the addition of this particular team of writers? And have you checked out Bob's Burgers for yourself?
I am a closet fan of Bob's Burgers. I think it's very entertaining. Some of the best memes in 2019 came from Bob's Burgers. So yeah, I think for Deadpool, the only way to keep it fresh is to switch up, you know what I'm saying, the writers have a different style of comedy every time for Ryan Reynolds to be able to keep everything fresh. So I actually like this a lot. I do feel like it fits the style of the character itself. And it's something that's going to be very interesting to me on what comes from this, because I wasn't too big of a fan of Deadpool 2. It was funny, but it wasn't that I can watch it 300 times like I did the first Deadpool. You know what I'm saying? Funny. It just seemed like they were just taking the same jokes and recycling them. So coming with a new writing team is something that will probably actually benefit this movie very much.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there. What about you, Stuart? What are your thoughts in regards to it?
Kind of the same as Indy's. So me personally, it's weird. I don't know why I'm not a fan of Bob's Burgers, because every time I've watched an episode of it, I've always laughed and thought, oh man, this show is hilarious. I got to get into this at some point. And then I never do. But in terms of them writing for Deadpool, I think that'll definitely benefit them, because even though I personally did enjoy Deadpool 2, it definitely wasn't anywhere near as funny as the first one. So I think with a new, really creative comedy writers, that'll probably be changed in this upcoming one. The other thing that really intrigues me, though, about this is the idea that it seems like he's working really closely with Marvel Studios and Kevin Feige. My biggest thought was that if the Deadpool franchise were to continue, that Marvel would only have their name up on it as an association with Marvel, not as Marvel Studios or anything like that. So it does kind of intrigue me and make me wonder if they are going to try to connect Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool into the MCU.
Yeah, that'll be something to be interesting to keep an eye out on. But I'm like you. I do like the idea that he's at least working really closely with them. I still am trying to figure out how exactly he's going to fit into this whole MCU, especially with the rated R film. I'm curious how connected it's going to be to the MCU. Are they still going to treat it like it's its own sort of separate thing, or if they're really truly going to bring it into the fold? But I mean, the fact that he's working that closely with Kevin Feige. Maybe Kevin certainly has a plan for all this, but what are we gonna say, Andy?
I can guarantee you there's gonna be a "oh my god, Tony Stark is dead" moment in Deadpool 3. Not Tony.
Yeah, I could totally see that happening, and I'm glad you brought it up too, Indy. That you weren't that impressed with the second Deadpool. People give me slack for not having even seen the second Deadpool, but I think that's probably one of the reasons why it's taken me so long to getting around to it. Because while I have heard people say that they enjoyed it, they didn't like it as much as the first one, and so I think maybe that's just been a lackluster response on my end to just really make it like that pivotal of a decision. Like, I gotta watch this movie. You know what I mean? Like, even though I was really fascinated to see what Josh Brolin was going to do as Cable, I was super pumped for him. I never got the opportunity to check out this film, but if what you guys are saying is true, that it just didn't come across as good as the first one, then maybe this is a great direction for them to go. They can have a new vision of the Deadpool movie, right? You got a new set of writers and a new director too, so it really is going to feel, I don't know if it's going to feel like a completely different movie, but you at least have a new option of seeing somebody else's vision, and so for that alone gets me excited, honestly.
Deadpool is going to introduce the next facet of the MCU somehow. Either he's going to introduce the Fantastic Four, or he's going to introduce mutants to what's going on. It should just be called Deadpool 3, The Hunt for Cable. You killed Tony Stark. That's what it should be called.
I can see him making a joke. First they take Ned Stark, and now Tony Stark. You monsters!
Yes. I can totally see that. But like, I'm sure this movie will be successful regardless. It's attached to Marvel, and it got Ryan Reynolds in it. So if there's anybody that understands this character, it definitely is Ryan Reynolds. So I'm definitely going to put some faith in him. Why can't Tim Miller just come back for Deadpool 3? Is he too busy right now? What is Tim Miller doing? Has he gotten in trouble with the law or anything? What's going on with him?
I have no idea what's going on with him.
I mean, maybe they'll bring him back. I don't know if anything's like, I don't know if anybody's been out there trying to cancel Tim Miller. Like, is he? Are we canceling Tim Miller? What did he do?
That was the actor who played his friend, right?
Yeah.
There was. I know I didn't look into it at all, so I have no idea if it's like if he actually was guilty of it. But there was like an accusation about him sexually assaulting someone at like a train station or something. So again, I didn't look into it at all, so I have I don't have an opinion one way or another on it.
Yeah, that's the first time I heard anything like that. So yeah, I didn't know. But if everything goes okay, I would think he'd be back.
It just says creative differences. That's like everything I'm looking at said he didn't return for Deadpool 2 due to creative differences.
Oh gosh, see, I didn't even know he wasn't in the second movie.
That was just
he was in the second one.
No, Tim Miller's the director.
I was thinking it was like his. I was thinking it was his best friend. That's exactly what I was thinking. It was Stu Stewart. Okay, gotcha.
Okay.
So yeah, hopefully, I really do expect them to see a different direction for Deadpool. I don't think it'll probably be too far off of what we've seen it before, but I think a new vision certainly will do wonders for it, especially if they're going to try and connect it to the MCU. But still no release date as to when Deadpool 3 is going to be coming out. But once we have any more information, we'll definitely go ahead and keep you guys posted. But any last words in regards to that, guys? Are you cool to move on to the next topic?
They should get the directors for John Wick.
Ooh. Gabriel says, do you think Deadpool 3 would be in the MCU? Because I don't know if Kevin Feige would put a rated R character in the MCU. I mean, I can see Deadpool's character having a rated R film and not having any other, maybe some references to the larger MCU, but I wouldn't see him, like, I don't expect to see Deadpool sharing the screen with a PG-13 rated character and dropping F-bombs, you know what I mean? But I can see him maybe in his own film doing that. But if they do bring him into some sort of connective tissue of the MCU, I don't know if those scenes will have him dropping any F-bombs or anything like that. But maybe I'm wrong.
They already started pampering us, trying to lean us towards what a PG-13 Deadpool would look like with the PG-13 release of Deadpool 2. And to me, I honestly found the PG-13 version more entertaining than the rated R version.
Yeah, I feel it. Yeah, I definitely do feel there's a way they could do it. Honestly, I really do feel that they could probably pull it off if they wanted to. I know some people would probably be upset, but I think if they needed to pull it off, I think they probably could.
Yeah, yeah, I think either way, like a PG-13 Deadpool could work, and even if they do go R-rated, you could still have him connected to the MCU. You just wouldn't see his movies being like the setup for anything in the larger picture. He would just kind of, despite being connected, he would still exist mostly in his own bubble. But if he ever did cross over in the other films, more than likely you wouldn't see him curse. But because it's Deadpool, he'd reference the fact that he's not allowed to curse because it's a PG-13 film.
Yeah, he totally would break that barrier for sure. But we'll see what happens. This is just simply our speculation. Hopefully, when we get further details, we'll definitely keep you guys posted. All right, guys. So with that story wrapped up, let's go ahead and move on to our next topic here. We're going to get off the Marvel and DC train for a little bit and talk about another property that's been around for quite some time that we've been waiting to hear some movement in regards to, and that is in fact Transformers. After the huge success of Bumblebee, hopefully resurrecting the franchise a little bit, putting some extra life into it. After its success, we've been wondering if we were going to get ourselves another Bumblebee movie, if they were going to go ahead and do other things. Over the past several months, though, we have learned that Paramount was currently working on 2 different drafts of a script for an upcoming Transformers movie, one of which people were speculating was going to be a Beast Wars. I almost said Beast Morphers. A Beast Wars movie. And the second one potentially being a Bumblebee sequel, perhaps. We're finally getting some movement in regards to one of those scripts, actually. And this next article comes to us from Deadline.com, letting us know that they might have found a new director for one of their Transformer movies. This comes to us from Deadline saying Transformers Creed 2 director Stephen Caple Jr. is tapped to direct the next installment in Paramount and Hasbro's franchise. It says exclusive. Following a lengthy search, Paramount and Hasbro Studios have set Stephen Caple Jr. to direct the new Transformers pick in the reinvented universe. Insiders add, while negotiations have yet to begin, so remember, they have their eyes set on this guy. Negotiations have just started. It says, while negotiations have yet to begin, he is the top choice among studio executives and producers, and a deal should close in the coming weeks. After meeting with several top executives, including President Emma Watts, the studio saw Caple as the best fit for the franchise that the studio chose to revamp at the top of the year. It did say in January, the studio made the decision to give the entire franchise a revamp by having 2 simultaneous scripts that are in active development, one by James Vanderbilt and one by Joby Harold. Harold's film eventually would be chosen as the next installment in the franchise, and once he had given his final touches on the script at the end of the summer, the studio began taking director pitches on the next film. So this script will in fact be from Joby Harold, and now we've got ourselves potentially Stephen Caple Jr. set to go ahead and direct the brand new Transformers movie. So yeah, still no word as to whether or not this is going to be a direct sequel to that of a Bumblebee film, or if this is going to be a Beast Wars film at all. I should say I'm feeling like this is probably going to be maybe along those lines of a Bumblebee sequel, but I'm wondering if this is like, if it's actually going to be a sequel or if they're actually revamping the universe all over again. So I am kind of scratching my head in regards to that. But I like the choice. I certainly didn't mind Creed 2 when I saw it from Stephen Caple. Honestly, a part of me did miss Ryan Coogler, to be perfectly honest with you, but I certainly liked what Stephen wound up giving us for Creed's sequel. So I'm on board. Honestly, not my first choice though. Like, if I had to be perfectly honest with you guys, it definitely goes back to I want me some Travis Knight. I thought he did such a marvelous job with Bumblebee. I don't know exactly what's on Travis Knight's docket at the moment, or what else he's currently working on, but I really would have loved to have seen Paramount try and bring him back. I mean, I honestly thought he had such a great vision, from somebody coming from something along the lines of like the animation realm, slow motion type of thing, or slow motion capture. For me, I thought he was able to bring that imagination to Bumblebee and just tell a really just heartfelt tale, honestly, and one that I was hoping would definitely continue along. And so maybe this Joby Harold script will be a continuation for the Bumblebee sequel. I certainly hope that it is. But if you're going to bring in a director, I certainly am not mad at this choice, but definitely not my first. But let me throw this over to you, Indy. You hear that Creed 2 director Stephen Caple is in talks. Hopefully, they'll wind up nailing these negotiations, and he'll be on board. What do you think about this addition to the upcoming Transformers movie? And what are you hoping that we see from this film?
Well, I'm in a similar box with you. I'm upset that Travis Knight isn't coming back because Kubo, Box Trolls, Bumblebee to me were, those were my movies, like my movies. The only thing, and he exited the Uncharted movie, so he's not doing that. So my thing is,
okay, so he was tapped for that. That's what he was tapped for
Uncharted. Okay. But he has a checking out now, just looking like IMDb next movies he's lined up to do. He has a to be announced the $6 billion man. So
okay.
I can see if you want to skip a Transformers movie for the $6 billion man.
I feel like they've been trying to get that movie off the ground forever too. So
yeah, so that looks cool to me. But with who they picked, I'm interested in seeing what goes on. At least we know, we know these Transformers, these robots finna be boxing. We know that the fight scenes are going to be impeccable. Do we get the Optimus Prime scene where he's running on Cybertron working out?
I like it. A little training montage on Cybertron.
Yeah, running up the steps. You know what I'm saying? When he's Orion Pax, right before he becomes Optimus Prime, runs up the steps, gets the Matrix leadership, turns into Optimus Prime. Like it writes itself. But
I'm going to be disappointed if this doesn't happen.
Right? But, now you set up the movie for us, man.
But I'm interested in where they're going, because when it comes to Transformers, I always feel like the best part of Transformers is the lore before they got to Earth. When Megatron was this prominent, character before he started to go full Malcolm X on everybody. And, watching Orion Pax, who just worked in a library on his Martin Luther King thing, try to tell his friend that you're going down the wrong path. That's the story that I want told. That's what I would like to see. And to me, I don't feel like we'll ever get that. So I'm curious to see what they're going to do. But the director they chose, with thinking about how he layered that second Creed movie, and how good to me that actually was, even better than the original. I'm curious to see what kind of story he can tell with these fictional characters.
I like it, Indy. What about you, Stuart? What are your thoughts on the idea of this guy being potentially the director? And as far as the films itself goes, would you want a Bumblebee sequel, or you want this to be a complete reboot of the franchise?
Personally, I'm mostly with Indy on all this. I kind of would have preferred a Cybertron standalone movie, especially with the way the previous director set it up in Bumblebee. I'm just that opening of Bumblebee was my favorite part of the movie. The whole movie itself was good, but that opening was just can we just get that as a whole film? But yeah, no, I do kind of wish they had him coming back for, whether it was a Bumblebee 2 movie, or if it was Beast Wars or any other Transformers property. I think that I would love to see at least a couple more films out of him. So with the new director getting the guy from Creed 2, the one thing that kind of makes me think, I think I know why they chose him. I think the direction Hasbro is going, it seems like they are still trying to keep the Michael Bay movies canon to the franchise. And the reason they chose him specifically is because when you look at Creed 2 is a sequel. Technically Creed 2 is a sequel to Creed 1, but it's also kind of a sequel to Rocky 4 in a lot of ways. And even though I love Rocky 4, it's one of the dumbest Rocky movies ever. But yet in the sequel, Creed 2,
he does.
Yeah. If in the sequel Creed 2, if you were to just watch that without seeing Rocky 4, you would have assumed Rocky 4 was kind of this really epic, really tragic, film, not the really goofy movie that it actually is in reality. So I'm wondering if that's what they're trying to go for with him, is they saw how they could make us look back on Rocky 4 as if it was this really, tragic kind of film, right? Or this just real epic event type of thing. And I'm wondering if they're trying to get him to do bring that same thing in with the previous Transformers movies. If they're trying to get him to direct a Transformers sequel that's so good that it makes us forget that the movies that came before were actually really terrible.
There's no way, Stuart. There's no way they can fix those past. I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
But hey, if that's their attempt, please, Hasbro, don't try and do that.
That's why I was bringing that up. It's like, I don't want that to happen. I personally want them to just hit that reset button that Bumblebee gave them and just start a new franchise after Bumblebee. Have Bumblebee be the start of a brand new, like, not related to the Michael Bay universe Transformers series.
And that's what I thought we got when we got Bumblebee, right? Like, I didn't really feel as though that there were any, I don't want to say any connections to the previous Transformers movie, but it felt like very much like a very early sequel or prequel, if you will. And it did feel like it was a completely different direction. Gabriel says, if we get Sylvester Stallone to voice a Decepticon, I'm in. Yo, I would love that. I would love that, Gabe. Let's do it. Bring it. Hey, yo, Optimus. Yo, I would love it.
Yo, Optimus.
Yeah,
Soundwave. One of the robots pop out of Soundwave's chest, and it just sounds like Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah, I love it.
Rumble, it'll work. Have Rumble come out of Soundwave's chest, sound like Sylvester Stallone. It'll work.
I love it. Yeah, so we'll see what happens. Like, for me, I definitely hope that they continue along with the Bumblebee route. I thought they did a really good job of at least breathing like some new life into that franchise. Granted, Bumblebee didn't go out there and make $1 billion, but that's also because I feel as though Paramount and Hasbro really ran their franchise into the ground with those last few Transformers movies. So I think the fact that that Bumblebee even made a profit should be looked at as a great thing for Paramount. So I'm hoping that they go that route and see how well it was received, that people do want to go ahead and continue along with these characters. And, listen, Stephen Chappell did I think I spelled his name wrong on the thing now that I think about it. Yeah. Stephen Cappell. I put Stephen Chappell. Stephen Cappell did such a great job with a sequel to Creed. If there is anybody, I guess, that you need to go ahead and do a sequel to anything, wind up bring in this man, and hopefully he'll do something with a sequel to Bumblebee. So we'll see if that's even their script or not. That's all you're gonna do is sequels. That's what you're gonna do from now on. Sequels for everything. You're a great sequel guy. Let's just bring you in. Yeah, that's what's going to happen. Right. But guys, listen, we want to know your thoughts. So it seems as though Transformers may have the director. We'll see how the negotiations certainly take place. But what are your thoughts in regards to the Creed 2 director helming their upcoming Transformers film? Certainly go ahead and let me know your thoughts in the live chat or the comment section box below, ladies and gentlemen. And with that, we're going to go ahead and jump on to our next topic. We will go ahead and go back over to some DC talk for you guys. One of my more anticipated DC films that we're looking forward to is, in fact, The Batman from Matt Reeves himself, starring Robert Pattinson. We do know that film is currently in production. And one of the announcements that we wind up getting a few months back is that Matt Reeves isn't stopping with just one Batman film. No, not at all. They plan on a spin-off series from The Batman for a Gotham PD television series that was set to go ahead and debut on HBO Max. This is certainly a trend that I feel like more movies and more streaming services are starting to get on board with. Release a movie, let's go ahead and release a spin-off right directly from that film. And so while I definitely was looking very forward to this Gotham PD television series, they also attached Terence Winter, most notably known from his time on Boardwalk Empire, if I'm not mistaken. I believe Sopranos also, perhaps. I could be wrong on the Soprano front, but definitely Boardwalk Empire. But unfortunately for us, ladies and gentlemen, we've got some terrible news here that Terence Winter has officially exited the Batman HBO Max television series. He is unfortunately saying farewell to this. This comes to us once again from Deadline.com, coming through with majority of all the topics this week. It says Terence Winter has stepped down as writer, executive producer, and showrunner of HBO Max's upcoming Batman drama series over creative differences, is what Deadline has confirmed. It says the streamer this past summer gave a series commitment to the project, a companion to Warner Brothers movie franchise, The Batman. Filmmaker Matt Reeves And he says the series set in the world Matt Reeves is creating for the Batman feature is designed to build upon the film's examination of the anatomy of corruption in Gotham City, launching a new Batman universe across multiple platforms. Focused on the Gotham Police Department, the series will extend the world established in the movie and further explore the myriad complex characters of Gotham. It said that Reeves in August said that the series is a prequel to his Batman Year 2 movie, with the show set in Batman's Year 1 when a masked vigilante starts to unsettle the series. The series will zero in on the city's corruption that goes back many years and is told from a point of view of a crooked cop. So yeah, it looks as though, unfortunately for us, Terence Winter has in fact left that project. And considering just what Terence Winter has certainly been attached to in the past in regards to some really great, just sort of former HBO series and stuff, like we mentioned with Boardwalk Empire, somebody that understands just that gritty underbelly when it comes to like corruption and the underground of the city and things like that. If there's anybody that understands just that world, it is in fact Terence Winter. So for me, this is a huge bummer and puts a little bit of a damper on this Gotham PD series. So I'm kind of intrigued to see who they might actually bring on board to go ahead and become the showrunner for this. But it does continue to make me scratch my head here, guys. How do you bring somebody on board for creative differences? Like, how do you make that announcement that you're bringing somebody on board yet still have differences creatively? Like, wouldn't you figure that you would squash those issues or figure those issues out before you made an official announcement that, hey, we've got this guy, guys, get excited, right? So now I'm not as excited. So I wish that this is something that they would get all their ducks in a row before making announcements like this. But I do think that this is going to hurt in the long run, but maybe that's just me. Let me shoot this over to you first, Stuart. In regards to this Batman HBO Max TV series, now that Terence Winter has left, what do you think that potentially means for the series going forward? Do you think we're still going to get it? Are you still excited for it? What are your thoughts?
I mean, I still think we're going to get it, and I'm still going to be looking forward to it. But yeah, I do find it weird that this early in development, you're already having like creative differences with the people that you're hiring. So I'm wondering what's going on behind the scenes for it to like kind of end that fast, honestly. But I don't know, if they're looking for a new showrunner, they should totally get I have no idea how to pronounce this guy's last name, but basically the creator of True Detective. I would love to see that kind of style brought to the world of Gotham.
Oh, that's not David Fincher, right? That's
no, it's a Nick Pizzolatto, Pizzolatto. I have no idea how that's pronounced.
So let me go ahead and just highlight this here real quick, because this is Terence Winter's writing. He was a writer for The Sopranos. He was also wrote the screenplay for The Wolf of Wall Street, Boardwalk Empire. I mean, goodness. I mean, again, this is a perfect example of somebody that sort of understands the underbelly of like these corrupt cities and corrupt cops and stuff. So for him to have been a showrunner and executive producer and writer for a lot of these other shows, yeah, man, I just feel like it's definitely going to miss that oomph that I was certainly hoping it would be able to provide. But let me throw this over to you, Indy. You hear this news: Terence Winter is exiting. It felt like it was honestly a match made in heaven when it was announced, but now it's a match made in hell. What's going on here, man?
Gabriel actually put this out perfectly, because this is exactly what I was getting ready to say. He said, honestly, I didn't even know Winter was on board for the show until I heard he left. Having heard this, what a waste. Boardwalk Empire was an amazing show and a perfect blueprint for Gotham PD. That is exactly what I was getting ready to say about that. It makes me wonder, did they even have any direction for this show to start off with? And are the delays and what's going on with the Batman and everything like that affecting what this show was going to be or become? So even though I'm worried about what's going to happen, I love watching train wrecks. So it's making me even more curious on if this show is going to be any good or not. Because I'm going to tell you, I love giving my A+ opinion. I love giving shows praise when they go, but oh, do I love to tear a show down when it's doing bad.
Yeah, man, I definitely agree with you and Gabriel there. I mean, he is a perfect fit for this show. I mean, he was one of the reasons why I got so incredibly excited when they announced it. The fact that they found somebody so perfect to really, you know, show run this type of show. And so, yeah, I would agree. It is a little bit fishy here that it's like you made this announcement without it feels like you guys didn't even sit down and try and figure things out. So I'm trying to figure out where that disconnect certainly came from. But yeah, you definitely bring up a good point there, Indy, for sure.
If I had to guess, it probably comes from the fact that studios are constantly wanting to have rewrites and reshoots done with their movies. And I'm wondering if that's what's going on with the Batman. And the problem with making a prequel series then to a movie that's going to be constantly having its script and, you know, overall movie changed is that means you got to make sure you're adjusting as well to fit in continuity. So if I had to guess though, so I could be completely wrong.
That's a smart man right there.
Well, I was gonna say, I mean, I haven't heard anything saying that like the script was an issue for the Batman. I mean, if I have heard anything, it's really maybe some of the delays in just production because of COVID and things like that, you know, kind of slowing things down and stuff. But I haven't heard anybody mention anything of like rewrites to the script that it's, you know, that it's paused them or caused them to slow down or anything like that. So I would feel like the premise would probably still be intact. So I don't know if it's a rewriting in the scripts of the movie that's throwing anything off television series wise. I mean, always an option, but this just almost felt like I don't know. Anytime they say creative differences, I feel like there's more to it than just that. You know what I mean? Like it's just like a bullshit PR line they try and give you. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm sure some cases it's true, but I feel like we hear it all the time and you just don't know what it is anymore at this point.
It's always like you don't hear what it is for like another 5 years. And then once that person no longer has to worry about any contract issues, then that's when they come out and they're like, oh yeah, this is the real reason I left.
Yeah, hopefully eventually the whole thing will come out. I mean, listen, it could be a case of maybe Terrence Winter has other projects that he was going to work on, and because of the delays of the Batman, maybe they can't start on production on the series until they finish wrapping up the film, and so maybe Terrence isn't going to be available to do any of that. I really don't know, but I will say this is definitely terrible news in regards to the series itself. And I think it'll be really important to see who they get to rebound from this news. If the next director or showrunner is going to have that same type of experience, at least, or have delved in that world before, if that makes any sense. But look, guys, at the end of the day, we definitely want to know your thoughts. Now that you hear that Terrence Winter, most notably known from The Sopranos, Wolf of Wall Street, Boardwalk Empire, exiting the Batman spinoff series, does this make you worried? Do you have any suggestions as to who you would like to see certainly take that role? How does that news certainly make you feel? Go ahead and let us know your thoughts in the live chat or the comment section box below, ladies and gentlemen. And then with that, we've got two last topics. We're going to go ahead and transition over to some DC television news for you. Both of these topics, which we actually highlighted earlier this week on our YouTube page, but we definitely want to go ahead and give them a little bit more shine as we continue towards our DC television shows certainly returning this upcoming January. So the DC television world, the Arrowverse, Berlantiverse, the CW verse, whatever you want to call it, is ever changing, ladies and gentlemen. And one of the biggest changes certainly coming to DC television is the upcoming Wonder Girl television series that they just recently announced this past week, which honestly, if you ask me, certainly came as a surprise to many. This is a character who is just about to be introduced into the, I believe it's the, oops, hold on. I'm having some issues here in sharing the screen. Give me 1 second, fellas. Okay, hopefully that'll help. Yeah, there we go. That's better. But Wonder Girl, or Wonder Woman, I should say, a brand new Wonder Woman is set to go ahead and debut this January in DC's upcoming event and Future State. So to hear that Wonder Girl is actually getting herself a live action television series, certainly a huge surprise considering she is yet to even debut. So here's the article from Deadline. Wonder Girl TV series with Latina lead from Daylin Rodriguez and Berlanti Productions in the works at the CW. It says exclusive. Greg Berlanti and the CW are breaking more ground in superhero representation with their latest DC series project. The network is developing Wonder Girl, a drama based on the DC character created by Jolie Jones. It hails from Queen of the South executive producer and showrunner Daylin Rodriguez. Written by Rodriguez, Wonder Girl centers on Yara Flor, a Latina dreamer who was born of an Amazonian warrior and a Brazilian river god, learns that she is Wonder Girl. With her newfound power, must fight the evil forces that would seek to destroy the world. This would mark the first Latina superhero title character of a DC TV series. Rodriguez, who is the daughter of Cuban immigrants, is executive producing. It also says the series will tell the backstory and origin story of the DC character Yara Flor, who was recently revealed as a new Wonder Woman. Yara will make her comic book appearance this January in Future State, part of the Future State event written and drawn by Jolie Jones as well. So, crazy developments for the Berlantiverse, which now includes Batwoman, Legends of Tomorrow, The Flash, Superman and Lois, Supergirl, and of course Black Lightning, to say the least. So yeah, guys, we've got some new developments. So let me throw this over to I'll throw this over to Indy first. I know you're a big comic book guy. I know you've been following with DC. I'm pretty sure you've probably at least heard of the Future State event that's certainly upcoming. What are your thoughts on the idea of a character, Indy, who is yet to even be debuted in the comic books, getting her very first live action television series? What are your thoughts in regards to this?
I think it's the smartest thing in the world because it's a show where we could develop along with the character and use the comics as almost a companion piece to understand what this character is going through. It's pretty similar to me watching an anime while reading the manga. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially if an anime debuts before a manga does, and reading along with it to understand more of the depth of the character and stuff like that. So to me, it's something that I'm used to doing, other than the fact that this is live action. I think it's smart for them because this is, to me, it feels like something when they're going to use, if a show gets popular, they're going to use the popularity of the show to drive comic sales. And that's something where comic sales haven't been doing, you know what I'm saying, well as of late. So maybe reversing the situation and letting the character introduce the comic rather than the other way around could be something that can help boost, you know what I'm saying, the sales of that comic when interest in the character is already peaked.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there. And for me, this almost kind of gives me a little bit more faith in what a Future State is certainly going to be. Like, for me, this kind of tells me that they're really impressed with just the character in general and Yara Flor. The fact that they're having the writer of that comic book series also on board to work alongside to create this series. I think DC has probably taken a step back, have seen what they've been able to create for this Future State, and maybe they've got something really successful in their hands with this brand new Wonder Woman of theirs. So yeah, the idea of introducing us comic book wise here starting this January and then boom, right into a fresh live action might be a good move for them for sure. Let me kick this over to you, Stuart. Also, now that you hear this development, does this development of a Wonder Girl series certainly surprise you? And what do you think just overall this means for just the CW verse or Arrowverse in general? Like, do you think we'll see something like a Wonder Woman at some point in time make a cameo in here? How do you think this is going to fit?
First, I got to say something. Last week, I think we mentioned, with the DC embargoes, like certain characters I don't think we'll ever actually see, such as Wonder Woman. But then you kind of mentioned, I don't even know if the DC embargo even exists anymore. Right now, I'm kind of with you at this point. Yeah, like the fact that they're now going into the Amazonians with the Arrowverse. Yeah, I'm also like kind of convinced that the DC embargo isn't actually a thing anymore. But yeah, no, I do think this is a really awesome move on their part. I've never heard of something like this happening, where essentially you get the Wonder Woman comic books coming out, and then you have a show that's about her younger years, but isn't necessarily in continuity with those comics that are coming out. So that's what I find like kind of fascinating about this. It'd be like if Smallville and the original Action comic books were released at the same time, essentially. So it's a really interesting move, and I hope this pays off, because I would not mind seeing more comic book TV shows and comic book characters like being like introduced at like around the same time, and kind of having like essentially the comics and the shows promoting each other.
Yeah, because this definitely feels like it's a very, very much a first time. This is, I don't want to say ever been done, but it definitely feels unique in a sense. Like it would be different if she was already in the comic books, but she's literally even yet to debut, right? Like we haven't read a single line from this character, a single paragraph from this character at all. And so the fact that she's already being announced as an upcoming live action TV series, that definitely floors me. But one I'm really looking forward to, I'm hoping that we get ourselves a Wonder Woman appearance in here. For me, I'll be really fascinated to see the Amazonian side of things from just an Arrowverse sort of perspective and point of view, how they wind up building up sort of that world, right? Will we get past Wonder Girls? Is a new Donna Troy going to be cast to be in this series also? So I'm glad that they're at least opening the box a little bit and giving us another side of the Arrowverse that we haven't really explored before in the Amazonians, because I don't believe that they've ever popped up before in a past DC television series. Do you recall it all?
Themyscira made an appearance in Legends of Tomorrow, and we had someone who wasn't like born on she wasn't born there, but she had spent a good chunk of her life on Themyscira, and she helps out like the Legends during the season 3 finale.
Oh, but that's about as close as we've come.
Yeah, and then of course, like I've kind of mentioned before on the show, if Black Lightning wants to pull the trigger, technically there is an Amazon like on that show. So if they ever want to pull the trigger with that.
Good point there also. Yeah, I'm actually looking forward to this. It's funny because I think it's Jessica Friedman or Anita. So I think it's Jessica. She's asked us several times, like, guys, would you ever want a Wonder Woman television series? Are they going to develop one? Because we've talked about the idea that they've tried to develop a Wonder Woman series in the past that unfortunately just never got off the ground. So the fact that they're trying to give this a shot, I'm eager. I'm really eager to see what they do. And listen, if it's going to bring more Latina diversity to the big screen, give me a beautiful Brazilian woman to play Yara Flor as Wonder Girl, I'm here, man. I'm here. I'm looking forward to it, man. So we'll see what happens. But guys, we want to know your levels of excitement. Like, are you still confused because of the fact you have no idea who Yara Flor is? Trust me, she certainly will be making her presence known here starting in January. So definitely check out Future State if you're a huge comic book collector, and if not, definitely go ahead and do some research, because I do think Yara Flor will certainly leave an impression, because that's the only thing I could think of, guys, is that this character's probably left that much of an impression for WB and DC to think we have something here enough to go ahead and do a television show. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it definitely gets me a lot more intrigued for Future State, which of course I'm sure that's what they were going for. So yeah, like I said, it's kind of like the comparison Indy was making earlier with manga, and how like the manga and the anime tend to come out side by side to like kind of help promote each other. I feel like that's kind of what they're doing now with comic books. Have the comics and the show go side by side. So again, promote each other.
Yeah, I definitely agree there. All right, guys. So listen, at the end of the day, we definitely want to know your thoughts. These are just our A+ opinions. Let us know yours in the comment section box below here. And then last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, we got one last topic that we're going to get into. A heartbreaker for many around here, as a lot of us were huge supporters of the show and Black Lightning. So let's go ahead and get into this last topic as we sadly say farewell to a fantastic show on the DC television or CW. I should say here. But over the past couple of weeks, we have been announcing some great news and developments for just the Black Lightning franchise, right? We've talked about Jordan Calloway as Painkiller getting his own spinoff after this season. We've even talked about Chantel Twee, who plays Grace Choi, being bumped up to a series regular, right? Season 4, yay, Black Lightning got so much to offer us, yay. And then we get this crappy news, ladies and gentlemen. This comes to us from tvline.com. Black Lightning to end with season 4. But don't worry, Painkiller spinoff still in development, but to say the least, Black Lightning to end with season 4. It says the upcoming 4th season of Black Lightning will be its last. The network wind up announcing on Friday. This is what the showrunner had to say. When we first started the Black Lightning journey, I knew that Jefferson Pierce and his family of powerful Black women would be a unique addition to the superhero genre. That comes from Salim Akil, the executive producer. He says the love that blurs and all comic book fans around the globe have shown this series over the past 3 seasons proved what we imagined. Black people want to see themselves in all complexities. He continued, thank you to the phenomenal cast, writers, and crew, without whom none of this would have been possible. I'm incredibly proud of the work we've been able to do and the moments we've been able to create in bringing DC's first African-American family of superheroes to life for the culture. Very well said, Salim Akil. I've talked about this a little bit already when we did our one of our videos for A+ Hero Report. So I do want to go ahead and throw this off to Indy because I feel like Indy hasn't really given his thoughts on the Black Lightning news. And I'm kind of curious to know his thoughts because if I recall, Indy, I believe that you were a pretty big fan of Black Lightning for the most part. So when you hear this news from TV Line that Black Lightning is ending, what are your thoughts in regards to it?
I'm upset about it. I understand that they're probably running out of. I feel like there's way more story that can go on Black Lightning. Black Lightning himself as a character is so intricate. So I'm wondering if it's just something about with the way the Bertinelli verse is going now that it's no place to tell more of a story. You know what I'm saying, for Black Lightning. So it's getting to the point now where I'm blaming Barry for screwing up the timeline. I'm blaming Arrow for canceling itself. I can't do this, man. Supernatural just aired this last episode. No more Arrow.
That's right.
No more Supergirl. I honestly feel like Stargirl is the reason why Black Lightning is not going to continue, because it's like, oh, we have Stargirl, we need Black Lightning for. I'm not happy about it, although I'm happy for the Painkillers spinoff, you know what I'm saying, series. He was nowhere near as interesting as a character as that family as a whole. So I'm curious in what, you know, they're going to do with that. Seeing a strong Black family on television dealing with the things they dealt with, whether it was drug addiction, whether it was fitting in, you know, just having to deal with different things, was very interesting to me. Tobias was one of the best villains on the
hands down.
You know what I'm saying? Just hands down. So I'm wondering where everything's gonna go for here. I'm hoping to buy it. I don't know, man. I'm so pissed about this. When y'all put it up, like, I went radio silent for a minute. I didn't say nothing. I was upset. I wasn't in the group chat. I didn't put nothing on the thing. I was just mad. So I don't know, man. It's just it hurts. This one hurts.
This hurts. This hurts.
No. But at least we still got All American.
Yeah, I mean, Batwoman is still there, right? I mean, let me throw this over to you, Stuart. You hear this news of Black Lightning canceling, man? What are your thoughts?
I'm really surprised, and the reason is, and I know this is gonna really annoy a lot of Arrowverse fans out there, I don't think any of the Arrowverse shows have had 3 consistently good seasons in a row with the exception of Black Lightning. That was like the first one where like it hit season 3, and not only was season 3, you know, like consistently good like season 1 and 2 were, to me season 3 was freaking amazing. So it really shocks me that after, you know, a season like that, they're already like getting ready to end it on its 4th season. I feel like if any show could go on for like 6 or 7 season and still feel fresh and new, I feel like Black Lightning would have been their perfect show to like keep going for a while. So yeah, for me, this is just surprising more than anything. And I really hope now more than ever that the Painkiller spinoff show gets picked up.
Yeah, man, I've already expressed my displeasure on Twitter a lot, how disgusted I am with this decision. Like I'm really floored by it, because you guys are right. Like as far as consistent storytelling for the past 3 seasons, damn, it's been Black Lightning. Like you know how many complaints that I've heard over the past years about Supergirl and how people have hated that show, or you know the ups and downs of the past couple of seasons of The Flash, and yet half these motherfuckers are still on television and they still get renewed seasons and stuff. And I'm like, you're trying to tell me that of all these shows, Black Lightning can't get a 5th season? Like, come on, guys. It just feels really out of left field. And it makes me wonder, like, did they know going into this season that this was going to be their last, right? Like CW at least had the audacity to give Melissa Benoist and Supergirl a great farewell. Like, hey, we've talked about this on the side. We know that an ending is coming. Did they give the same luxuries to Black Lightning? Like, a part of me is hoping that they sat down with the showrunner and said, hey, you know, season 4 is going to be your guys' last. So hopefully storyline wise, you can get that opportunity to wrap things up successfully the way that you want to. I'm keeping my fingers crossed and hoping that's the case, but it feels very much like this announcement came out of left field, even for some of the cast members. You know what I mean? So it does bother me a little bit that we that this is happening, that a show like Supergirl that's had its a ton of its critics, people trying to get Batwoman off the air, you know what I'm saying? Yet that show gets a 2nd season. Nobody's complained about Black Lightning at all. Like, why are we doing this all of a sudden? So if there is any hope for me in regards to this article, like if there is any hope, I am hoping that this is part of a bigger plan that we haven't seen coming yet. Like hold one more second, Indy. Like the fact that they are bringing Salim Akil on board to do Painkiller, I'm wondering if this is supposed to be like a seamless transition from Black Lightning into the Painkiller series. And the only reason why I say that is the way that Black Lightning is set up with its books and its chapters. Like creatively, I can easily see maybe Black Lightning, technically, maybe they only had a shelf life for 4 seasons. Maybe that was Jefferson Pierce's story to be told. And maybe the next book and next chapter continues on in sort of this Painkiller spinoff. Like that's me maybe being really hopeful that that's the plan that Salim and WB have in store for us. Because if this is just a, hey, we're canceling it type of thing because of ratings or whatever, okay, I just call bullshit on that personally. I just like, do we have a quota of how many Black superhero characters we can have at one time, have their own show? Like, I just don't see why there's a need to take Black Lightning, who's been such a great job social commentary wise, representing in a Black family, dealing with a ton of great topics, like why that's the show that we got to get off of television all of a sudden when we've had tons of complaints about all these other ones. It makes me scratch my head. And so I'm hoping we get more stuff revealed as to why this season was canceled, and hopefully it's part of a bigger plan, but maybe that's just wishful thinking on my part, guys.
I can't wait. This is one thing what I hate about cons not being around. I can't wait till NDAs are lifted and people can actually have conversations about what's going on. There's 2 things I'm gonna need from you, Adam. The first thing is I need you to change the Batwoman logo to just say Alice. Just change the Batwoman logo to say Alice. That's the only reason to watch that show right now. Other than that, when it comes to Black Lightning, it was so good. Maybe that's what they're scared of, because I feel the same way going into this next season of All American on where they're going to go after. You know what I'm saying? This, because that's another show what I feel like is going to be ending sooner than what it actually should. It has a great social commentary and stuff to it. But as we always say, there's not enough representation, period, on television and in the movies. And when we finally get something that is good, it's taken, you know what I'm saying, is taken away from us, no matter what happens. So I'm looking forward to this, and this better not be a bad season. If it goes out and it's a bad season, I'm rioting. Like, I'm so upset if this season is bad. But when shows like Supernatural can go on for 2 million seasons, Grey's Anatomy, you know what I'm saying? Like shows like this can just never end, even though Supernatural just ended. Them boys just said, look, we're done.
Yeah, I'm tired. Get me out of here.
But I don't know. Vampire Diaries goes into Legacies. Maybe we'll get a transition, like, you know what I'm saying, a transition similar to that when it goes on to it. So, I mean, we'll see, man. I'm not happy about it. You're not happy about it. Stuart seems like he's not happy about it. So, I mean, what are we going to do?
Maybe the whole point of the Painkiller spinoff, it's literally just going to be the exact same show. They're just technically having Painkiller be the main character in order to keep like the overall like Black Lightning universe going.
I mean, so
it's not
kill Jefferson Pierce.
I mean, maybe Jefferson Pierce doesn't make it out of the season.
He doesn't
maybe
get killed off. He just doesn't become the main. He's just no longer the main character.
I mean, listen, Jefferson Pierce is getting older, right? He's like, look, I got these 2 grown ass daughters. I'm trying to fend these boys off of. Trying to do that along with Black Lightning. Like that's being Black Lightning. That's tough. So I mean, maybe we do.
No. Look at this. There are 3 separate series of Walking Dead right now.
Like, yeah, we can't keep Black Lightning on TV, man. Come on, guys. Like, something is really wrong with this picture here. Like, I mean, people could say ratings all they want to, but I still feel like there's a need and a beckoning to have Black Lightning on TV, especially when it's been just a consistent show, right? Some of the best villains on there, from Tobias Whale to Agent Odell, who is just the devil himself. Like, I mean, they do such a great job of bringing in these pivotal characters and doing wonders with them. Like, I'm hoping a part of, like we just talked about, Stuart, like I'm hoping a part of what Painkiller is really just sort of the next chapter. And so we get like Thunder and Lightning coming back, get an opportunity to see some of those characters maybe moved over from the Black Lightning series into Painkiller. I think hopefully would be pretty good for their careers and just continue to give them a job. You know what I mean? But there's a lot of the cast members I really enjoyed that I really just don't want to say farewell to. So I don't know what this means for Jefferson Pierce. Does Black Lightning not make it out of season 4? Does he pass along the baton to Painkiller, you know what I mean, to protect Freeland or wherever he goes? Who knows? I really don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, we could end up with Legacies, which is actually a good transition from the originals Vampire Diaries world. Like, it's actually a good show. Or we can end up with Power Book 2 Ghost and be like, this is trash.
I hope not. Like, the idea of Salim Akil being a part of Painkiller does give me some hope that'll be also a good series too. But man, my 2 biggest hopes is that Painkiller is just a continuation, and that the showrunners at least had an idea that his show was coming to an end. I just hope that they gave him the heads up so that he could write season 4 the way that he wants to kind of give them a proper send off. That's all I ask, man. And hopefully we get something that connects into Painkiller, because yeah, this is disturbing to me, man. This is disturbing. I mean, listen, I'm all for diversity and I'm all for inclusion. The idea of them bringing in a Latina actress to play Wonder Girl, fantastic. We got Javicia Leslie to play a Black Batwoman, fantastic. You know what I mean? Jordan Calloway still representing African Americans as Painkiller and things like that. But still, it just feels like let's add more. Let's not subtract. You know what I mean? We don't have to subtract things. We can still just continue to add. And I'm hoping it's not a quota thing. You know what I'm saying? I really hope that's not the case. But
or you mean like these idiots over at Warner Brothers still haven't added Green Arrow and the Canaries?
Yeah, I guess that's true. Yeah.
I'm hoping it's not another Green Arrow and the Canaries thing. I'm hoping like the Painkiller spinoff actually takes off.
Yeah, we'll see. Because they're supposed to have a backdoor pilot, I think, for Painkiller in like the 7th episode, I think they said of season 4 too. So we don't even know if that's gonna get off the ground. They
had a backdoor pilot for Green Arrow and the Canaries too.
Yeah, we saw how that turned out. Damn. We'll keep our fingers crossed. I'm keeping my fingers crossed for you, Jordan Calloway and Salim Akil. I hope you guys knock this out of the park, but hopefully we'll get further details as to truly what's going on behind the scenes, because it just feels like there's more to it than just ratings. You know what I mean? But we'll see what happens.
Derry said that China McClain needed to leave.
Ooh, really?
She needed to leave. She is the worst part of that show.
Why? Yeah, I say you weren't the biggest fan of hers.
I was happy when she left the Step Up, the little Step Up YouTube thing that she was on the first season. When she left, I was happy, and then she popped up in my Black Lightning show, and I was pissed. So I was. She keeps ruining my shows for me.
Uh-oh.
Wait, good. Which one did she play?
Sorry, my internet's
she was the younger sister. Oh, okay. Johnny McClane was. Yeah, she was the worst part of the show.
I don't know. I like her character.
Mini Lightning.
No. Yeah, she's a horrible actress to me. Like, how do you not act well in a Step Up show? You don't have to do anything but dance.
Well, I haven't seen the Step Up show, so I definitely can't speak for that.
Go watch season 1 of Step Up High Water. See how horrible she was. That's why she got written out for the second season.
Step Up High Water. All right, guys. Well, other than that, I think that's actually going to wrap it up for us here in regards to all of our topics for the day. So, guys, thank you very much for certainly going through all these topics with me for sure. And to all the fans, thank you very much for certainly joining us in regards to that. We are going to transition real quick over to our live viewer questions, though, before we go ahead and jump into the comment section. Not quite sure exactly how many questions we have today, but let's go ahead and submit them in. Oh, we got quite a few. Let's go ahead and do this then. Jessica Fryman's got a couple questions. Hey, Adam, are there plans to bring all of the DC app library over to HBO Max? And is there any word on Indiana Jones 5? Indy, have you heard anything in regards to what they're doing with the DC Universe app library?
You mean not doing another season of Young Justice?
Well, are they not? Well, I thought I heard they are, right? I thought that they are.
I don't believe nothing until I see it.
Fair enough. But they did announce that they are developing a season 4.
Hopefully, it took us this long to get this.
As far as I know, when it comes to the DC app, all their library should be moved over to HBO Max already. I believe Harley Quinn's on HBO Max now. Titans is officially moved over there. I saw that the other day also. I don't know if Swamp Thing is yet. They probably will wait for that to air on CW first, but I'm assuming the DC Universe library app is there. Library is over on HBO Max, but I think they're also changing the comic book side of things and turning it into like DC Infinite or something like that. I think they're coming up with a new name for it. So it will be a platform for comic books, but the television side of things, all that stuff has been moved over to HBO Max. Any word on an Indiana Jones 5? I haven't heard anything besides the fact that Harrison Ford gets older each year.
It kind of wonders to me like they're just waiting on Harrison Ford to kick the bucket to do it.
Yeah. Like if he's not around, maybe we'll do another Indiana Jones. He can't complain about it.
What's the dude? What's the kid that plays Spider-Man's name?
Tom Holland.
Oh, Tom Holland.
They're just waiting on Tom Holland to look old enough to play.
Probably, yeah. Harrison Ford's like, I really want to be in Indiana Jones 5, and Disney's just like looking at him like with his cane, and they're just like,
we got Tom Holland over here.
We don't want to be liable if you get injured on set again, like in Star Wars. So,
and like he's already in the Uncharted movie. It's like an easy transition.
Oh, bro. Jessica Fryman also has another set of questions. She says, what would you like to see in the new Static Shock movie? And would you like to see a new Teen Titans show one day? The Teen Titans show question, let me shoot this over to Stuart, because I know he's not the biggest fan of Titans. Would you want to see a new Teen Titans show one day?
Yeah, I think it would be perfect for the Arrowverse. Andy, don't act like you don't know this.
Yeah, he's told us plenty of
I've mentioned this before on the show.
He's definitely not the biggest fan. You know, I actually wouldn't mind another one also. While I don't mind the series that we have, maybe if like I feel like this is a show that should end on season 4. You know, like if we're gonna do anything for Titans, if you're gonna end any show, please end Titans on season 4. Not that I haven't thought it was good. Like I've enjoyed it. I think it's been pretty solid for the most part, but I feel like it could be significantly better. So if they wanted to do another one somewhere down the line, I would be open for it, but I don't see it happening anytime soon, though.
Nah, it's two things we were spoiled with. We were spoiled with the Teen Titans cartoon, and we were spoiled with the Clone Wars cartoon, and that's ruined everything for us that has anything to do with those franchises.
You might be right. You might be right. What would you like to see in the new Static Shock movie? Because Michael B. Jordan's supposed to be producing one. Very early stages of its development, though.
I would just like to see a Static Shock movie. That's it. That's what I want to see. I want to see Static Shock in a Static Shock movie. I want to see this come to fruition. But I would like I really need the real world aspect to it. I need it updated to what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Today. Because y'all hear me say this a lot, and sooner or later y'all are going to watch All American. But if you gave the main character an All-American superpowers, it's Static Shock. That's literally all they have to do.
Okay. Yeah, I've never had the opportunity to watch it. I know you've talked really highly about it though, but I haven't had a chance to watch it yet.
Yeah.
I've heard some people mention the idea that they would love to see the voice actor of Static Shock maybe have a cameo or something like that, or play a small role. I think that would be pretty cool. I'd be really interested to see just the world building that they create, because a part of me, if you're going to create a Static Shock movie, I really would love to see milestone comic characters, maybe not as cameos, but just referencing the idea that they're out there, like Icons or Icon or Blood Syndicate team or whatever the case may be. I think that would be pretty cool. I think that what their Iron Man guy was Hardware or something like that. Like just a reference of a bigger milestone world out there would be pretty cool for me. But I'm with you, Indy. Just the idea of getting a Static Shock movie, just give that to me and I'll be happy.
Just don't make it like Meteor Man.
Yes, please. Robert Townsend. Yeah. I used to love that movie growing up, though.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say just make it relatable for, high schoolers and everything. Have it, definitely give it a real world feeling, but also still have fun with the superhero aspect of it. I think the original cartoon series balanced it perfectly.
Yeah, and I lost what I was going to say off the top of my head. Forget it. Never mind. But yes, I agree with you, Stuart. Let's see here. Next couple of questions. This comes to us from AJ. He says, this is more of a comment here for the first one. How I think Jesse Quick can return to the Flash series. She says, now that all of the past Harrison Wells we've had since the beginning are in Nash Wells' body, aside from Thawne, a new Jesse now in post-crisis can be the daughter of the original Harrison Wells who died from Thawne in this new rebooted Earth. Nash takes her under his wing, acting as her mentor or someone who can trust. She can trust because of having her father's face. Would you guys want to see a Jesse Quick come back, or how do you like the sound of that? I do want a Jesse Quick back, honestly.
Personally, I would be all down. I would be totally down for her to come back on Stargirl. Like, just have it be like maybe some elements of Earth 2 are still sprinkled into Stargirl. Elements from the original Earth 2 before the multiverse got rewritten. So, like, in other words, like having the same actor come back for Jay Garrett, and then having the same actress for Jesse Quick. I think that would actually be really cool.
I like that idea. I don't want her back on Flash just for the fact that it's odd without a kid Flash there. To have her there, because that's something that I don't know how they address that without it just being some big plot hole, like with their relationship. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Going to Earth 2 and maybe her, you could have her go to Earth 2 and do a whole thing where she has to learn how to, go over to Stargrab, a whole thing. She has to be reintroduced to her powers when she has to learn them. It doesn't have to necessarily be the same character, but I would, like Stuart said, I would like it to be the same actress.
Yeah, I would agree. I definitely would love to give her another opportunity as that character for sure. Last couple questions. Do you think for the upcoming Superman and Lois series, since we may be getting a Lex Luthor from a different Earth, would you like him to secretly work with the actual Lex on Earth Prime, and or does not know there was a multiverse and a different Lex? I personally don't want a different Lex, but I've been hearing rumors that it's a possibility that we might be getting another Lex Luthor from a different Earth. I don't know why, when we've got a perfect one in John Cryer here from Supergirl. But if all this was easily put into place before, maybe the idea of a Supergirl cancellation, I would understand. But I personally just want it to be John Cryer, but I'll be open to whatever they give me, honestly.
There's only one Lex I want other than John Cryer, and that's the guy who plays Sheldon on The Big Bang Theory.
Interesting, Sheldon as a I would okay, okay. I would okay. I would. I need to see some stuff. Okay, we'll see.
Yeah.
I'd be down to watch an audition tape to see how that would play out.
I would be open to seeing an audition tape to see what he's able to do. He might be able to pull it off. You never know. But would you like him to secretly work with the actual Lex on Earth Prime or no?
Lex is too conceited to work with himself, so it would have to be where he doesn't know it's another Lex. It could be something where he's just working with somebody else getting info, and then the other Lex knows that Lex is not going to work with Lex, so he doesn't let it know it's Lex. It'd be like this whole intrigue.
They would both be playing each other, knowing they're playing each other, but still trying to play each other because they're still smart.
Yeah, so that would be very interesting. But if it's Lex knowing he's working with Lex, we know that's not. To me, that's just not believable.
You make a good point there. I could you can see them working together, but trust me, they definitely have alternative plans and behind working with each other.
Yeah,
you gonna say something, Stuart? Sorry.
Oh yeah. Just that unless they're bringing back a previously established Lex Luthor like Michael Rosenbaum, I'm not really interested in seeing a new Lex Luthor. I just prefer if we just stuck with John Cryer for now.
Yeah, I really would too. I mean, maybe they have an interesting storyline as to how this, how this new Lex came to be or whatever the case may be. But like for me, it would just be interesting. So where's this Lex Luthor been for the past 2 seasons of Supergirl, right? Like we've been in Earth Prime for this long now, and nobody has made their presence known about another sort of Lex Luthor. So
because he's that smart. Maybe what do we get, the Council of Wells? Maybe we end up with like the Council of Lexus.
Of Lexus.
that was in the Crisis tie-in comic. Right. There was a Council of Lexus.
Yeah.
Oh crap! Then maybe they who knows? Maybe they introduce him. And then AJ's last question. This might be for both of you because I don't really know. What do you guys think of the new PS5? And what game title stood out to you? Or that you want to become a game in the future and be backwards compatible?
On the PS5, nothing's going to be backwards compatible.
I haven't had the chance to play it, but I've just heard some horror stories, but I don't know if how widespread those horror stories are for PS5 so far. What have you been hearing, Stuart? I mean, Indy.
My PS5. I've played the PS5, but my PS5 has it mistakenly got canceled. The day it was supposed to be delivered, it got canceled, so I didn't get it. I did get my Xbox, but I haven't even played it yet. Of course, Miles Morales, but I'm able to play that on PS4. Like everything that came out on PS5, you're able to play on PS4. So I'm playing the games anyway. A game that I would like to be made in the future. There's I would love to have a Parasite Eve 3.
Ooh, okay.
So something like that, or I don't know if you guys played the original Xenogears. I think that was on PS1.
Yeah, a long time ago. Yeah,
they went into the Xenosaga stuff. I would like continuation of that. You know what I'm saying? Particular story to come out on PS5. So that's what I've been hoping for years.
I played the first one. I was super pumped to play the second one, but the story was just getting too long for me. So eventually I just kind of fell off. But yeah, Xenogears, man, I haven't heard that mentioned in years, bro. Wow.
Yeah. That was like 8th grade for me.
Yeah, that was a minute ago. Like I was like right fresh off of my Final Fantasy 7 and 8 days, like jumping into RPG stuff. I used to love that. Have you heard anything else, Stuart, in regards to the PS5s or anything at all, or no?
I'll say this. Thankfully, I've saved my F-bomb for this, for the episode. Fuck you, Target and Walmart so much because, and Best Buy, because all 3 of their websites have had this problem. So my girlfriend and I are really trying hard to get a PS5, but like no place is in stock with them, which, it's fine. I guess Sony made like a very limited amount, except for they don't like post that on their website. They make it seem like they're in stock, and it's not until like you check out that your computer freezes for like a full minute, and then it says, sorry, this item is no longer available. And it's not just me and my girlfriend this has happened to. This is happening to like anyone I know who's trying to get like a PS5 in the Bay Area. It's just like they keep saying that they're in stock, and then they try to check out so we can pick it up in the store, and then it's like, oh, no longer available.
It's bots. Bots are buying up the PS4s.
Oh, without a doubt. Yeah.
But I mean PS5s, but it happens every console launch. Sony always underships systems because then it makes it you undership systems. It's a great blueprint for having a successful business. If you undership, you create demand, you know what I'm saying, and then you can drive the market. Because then your stocks and stuff go up because you're creating more demand than supply that you have. So it makes you seem like your company's worth more than what you actually are. So I totally understand it. But Microsoft and Sony both have came out and said that they're not stocking systems in store, that they're only selling online due to the COVID crisis and them not being able to keep up with supply. So I don't know when it's going to hit store shelves. The system that they did have on store shelves were pre-orders that weren't picked up, that they were able to put on shelves after that. I actually work in a Walmart, and they're looking at January, like mid-January, for to have anything on shelves. Y'all know I spent 10 years at GameStop. They're not even talking about having anything until like the spring.
That's crazy to me. That's crazy to me. Do you think Microsoft would ship out first? I heard some people saying like to expect Xboxes to be on shelves first just because they're manufactured here, whereas Sony is manufactured in Japan, so you gotta wait for shipping and things like that.
Well, that's another thing. That's another thing that I think is hurting Sony is the tariff taxes on them right now for shipping stuff over. It's costing them more money to ship. So they want to make sure when they ship stuff over, they have an adequate amount of stuff, you know what I'm saying, to ship over, so they're not paying all that money. That's what Microsoft has a leg up. Microsoft doesn't care if they sell you a system. So it doesn't matter. They're turning into Apple. They just want you in their ecosystem.
I get what you're saying. Interesting stuff. Well, hey guys, look, I appreciate all the live viewer questions today. So thank you for those, Jessica and AJ. Remember, guys, at any particular point in time throughout the week, for you viewers out there, if you do have a live viewer question, feel free to go ahead and submit them over anytime at aplusopinions@gmail.com. Again, aplusopinions@gmail.com. If there's any news information you read over the weekend that you want to ask us questions about, feel free to go ahead and submit them over, and we'll always get to them towards the end of our show every Sunday at 11 a.m. Central Time. But that'll wrap up the live viewer questions section. And if anything, guys, we got about 15 minutes or so left. If you guys want to go ahead and jump into the comment section, give some people some love if they popped in late, or if there's any questions or comments that jump out at you, we'll go ahead and take a few of those before we wrap up here.
This one stuck out. Yes, it is very cold in the Bay Area right now. That's why I'm wearing a jacket on top of a sweatshirt.
Yeah. What's the temperature like though? What, like 62? Well,
yeah, I'm sure it's nowhere near as cold as it is for you guys, but like just
or at least Indy. Indy probably sitting in a snowstorm right now. We got
a snowstorm coming tomorrow.
See y'all tomorrow.
It's like 34 degrees or something outside right now. He's talking about 62 is cold. I want that. We'll gladly take that.
Now, what is your cold out there though, Stuart? What is the temperature like for you?
Oh God, that's a good question. Let me look it up actually real quick.
It's 73. Oh, I'm freezing.
Sorry. Shadow Nova said Young China was a pretty good actress. I don't know who you talking about. Because the China I know can't act.
There are some scenes in season 3 where I just laugh at, because like China's such a real one. I feel like whenever she talks to people, sometimes like it don't even feel like she's reading from a script. It just feels like she's talking to you like she's your mom or something like that. Just some of the realness that China has when she plays her character. Like I do love her relationships with her sister for sure. I always thought they had a great relationship. Like I love how she always busts on Anissa for being like easy, like always dating somebody new each and every time she gets a chance. I always love their chemistry.
It's better than dating a killer. You know,
true that.
Sexy said, I rewatched the final episode of Arrow, and there's a continuity, that word goof. The flashbacks take place in 2012, but Oliver was wearing his season 6 costume. You could tell Oliver aged, so the flashback was odd.
Wait, that was the final episode though. So like the multiverse was rewritten. So any plot hole that they have in regards to flashbacks, you can just blame Crisis for, or
blame it on Barry.
How many or both?
Just blame it on Barry. The reason Crisis happened was because of Barry anyway. Blame it on
Crisis
Barry.
on Infinite Berries.
Quick shout out to Daryl for making an appearance today. Good afternoon from Pine Tops, North Carolina. Welcome, Daryl. Appreciate you coming through. We all got bacon and sushi. Says, I hope how Chris Pine's character comes back in Wonder Woman 84 makes sense or is believable. Yeah, I trust in Patty Jenkins. I'm sure if she's got a plan on bringing him back, it'll certainly make sense. And that's one chemistry that I'm really looking forward to seeing on screen once again is Gal Gadot and Chris Pine.
Y'all haven't figured out how. I mean, they already told us online how it was going to happen.
How?
Yeah, Diana and Wanda know each other, and Wanda brought him back to life.
Wanda? Wanda? What are we talking about here? Yo, I will say this. I did watch a Wonder Woman TV spot again recently, and guys, the Invisible Jet is coming. I'm just saying. I'm just going to throw this out there. The Invisible Jet is happening in the sequel. I'll put money on that.
What are they going to do when she starts flying?
I think she's swinging from it sometimes. We've seen some shots of her swinging from lightning bolts and stuff. I wouldn't be surprised if she's like swinging on the back of her freaking jet plane sometime.
And it's not. No, what if it's not even the lightning bolt? What if it's just the plane and the lightning bolt is just by the plane?
Ooh,
the plane the whole time.
I mean, it looks like the lightning bolt, but yeah, you might be right. I mean, maybe it's just the invisible plane going the entire time. That'd be pretty legit. But then my question would be, why are you swinging on it? Why don't you just get inside and fly it, right? You got your own jet. But the only reason why I asked that is just because I just remember the scene of Diana and Steve and Trevor just in, like, I think he's taking her out for a flight in his jet or something like that. So I think that's probably why it just came to my mind.
Visible jet just makes no freaking sense to me.
It really doesn't, but it'd be cool if they pull it off. If they pull it off, if Patty Jenkins were to show it to me, I'd be like, okay, I'm down.
It never made sense to me. Like, or maybe the visible jet is just a stealth jet that the army gives to her, and it just can't be found on radar.
Possible. This one other one here from Bacon and Sushi. Have you seen Chadwick Boseman in The Five Bloods? It's on Netflix now. And what do you think of Black Panther 2 starting production this summer? Because yes, they actually just announced Black Panther 2 is going to be in production. Let me see if I can actually. I'm pretty sure we posted it, but maybe we didn't yet. But yeah, what do you guys think in regards to that? Did you see him in The Five Bloods?
Five Bloods was a good movie. That was going to be a good movie before we, what I'm saying, even his passing happened. It was well written, well directed, and it just hit all the cool points. It was a very good movie.
Yeah, the Hollywood Reporter here is saying Black Panther sequel shoot to begin in July. Tinoch Huerta, star of Netflix's Narcos Mexico, is joining the cast of the untitled film from Ryan Coogler. So yeah, it says the sequel was sidelined, unfortunately, with the sudden death of Chadwick Boseman. But they are pushing forward. They're talking about the idea. It says, however, even as a continued novel, blah, 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 multiple sources say that Marvel is now ready for Black Lightning 2 for a shoot that will start in Atlanta in July and it lasts for at least up to 6 months. It says Letitia Wright, Lupita Nyong'o, and Winston Duke and Angela Bassett are expected to return for the new feature, with some saying that Letitia Wright's character in Shuri may take on more prominent of a role. So it's a possibility that we're going to get Letitia Wright potentially as the next Black Panther. We'll keep our fingers crossed and see how that starts.
What if she's the queen and she chooses the next Black Panther?
Could be. Definitely a possibility for sure. Definitely a possibility. I like that idea also.
It better not be the Winter Soldier.
Ooh, God, I hope not. That would just be the weirdest. That would just be the weirdest.
No way.
He spent so much time there.
I mean, maybe he having babies. You never know. Maybe he found himself a fine Wakandan woman, and settled down over there. You don't know.
Well, he's been there for so long. Nah, man, I can't do that. I can't do that.
He's going to become the White Wolf, obviously.
Yeah,
like they hinted at the end of Black Panther 1.
Yeah. What it would? Nah. It will be an uproar.
It definitely would be an uproar. But thank you for that question, Bacon and Sushi. I definitely wanted to highlight that Black Panther 2 is starting production in July.
I can't wait for season 2 of Alice, though. I'm looking forward to that.
You're not excited for Javicia Leslie? You don't think she's gonna do a good job as far as acting wise?
No, I saw the TV spot and I saw her put on the cow. I was like, nah, I'm good. I'm good.
The TV spot.
Yeah, the pictures that what's her name? Who I can't remember her name because she was so irrelevant last season.
Shout out to Anita.
Batwoman's ex-girlfriend, the one who works for her dad. Yeah. The pictures of her laying next to Alice, you know what I'm saying? Them just taking pictures with each other, laying next to Alice, next to a dumpster, are like way more exciting than the ad. I'm more excited for seeing how Alice reacts to her sister not being, you know what I'm saying, Batwoman than anything else.
I'm going to assume she just like Kate Kane decided to just run away from everything because she found Maggie Sawyer and they fell in love or something.
No, like if they want to do it proper and they know that the young lady isn't going to come back and reprise a role, have her dad take her out because he has a vendetta against Batwoman anyway. Have him take him out, and then the whole thing is them trying to get back at him and him dealing with the fact that he just killed his daughter.
Oh my God, that'd be a great way to really like, oh my God, that'd be like a great way to really change his character. Holy crap.
Mm-hmm.
I do like that idea. Let's see here. This also comes to us. This was from Gabriel. He says, as a Latino myself, I think this is a good step forward for Latino representation in superheroes, because the only Latino hero I can think of Miles Morales and Jamie Reyes.
Jaime. No.
Jaime, is that how they pronounce it?
Yeah,
Jaime Reyes? Okay.
Yeah.
Jaime Reyes. Yeah, I mean, listen, I look, I'm all for inclusion and diversity, man, and there is something really important about having representation. So you make a good point. I didn't even think it's so few of us kind of on TV, if you will. Like, I think that's maybe another reason why some of us were even so happy for like Ghost Rider, you know, because we're going to get ourselves a Hispanic lead there. But you're right. Yeah, hopefully Wonder Girl will be a huge success. But yeah, I definitely agree with you there, Gabriel.
The Blue Beetle does need to be more prominent in everything. That is a very underused character.
And I think I brought this up on the show before. They keep doing the Ted Cord, not Jaime Reyes, but they do like the Ted Cord name drop all the time. On the Arrowverse.
All the time. I hate it.
We've never seen him in person.
I'm like, bro, if you're not going to introduce this man, stop dropping his name, please, because you're just driving me crazy here.
They give us Ragman and everybody else, but don't give us.
They gave us a Blue Beetle, man.
He would have been a perfect member for the Arrowverse. That would have been great.
He'd been perfect to be just a person in the Arrowverse for everybody to have, you know, another connection for everybody to have because of how big Cord Industries is.
Mm-hmm.
I would have liked Ted Cord instead of what's his name that played on Legends to be the one.
That was who they were originally going to get.
Yeah,
they were going to have him play Ted Cord, but then like very last minute, Warner Brothers was like, "Nope, you guys can't use Ted Cord because we might be making a movie with him, even though we're not."
Yeah, but you can have all the Superman you want, though.
Yeah, that's so weird to me. You can have Superman, but you can't have Blue Beetle.
Yeah,
you can say Batman, but he can't show up.
Give that time. That might change. Let's see here. Bacon Sushi's not officially confirmed, but according to Wentworth Miller and Dom Purcell, Prison Break season 6 not happening. Do you think they're just saying that right now as a tease? I've always thought it was happening, but if they're saying it's not happening, I don't think they would lie about that or use it as a tease.
I gave up on that 2 years ago.
Right? It's been in development for a while, I felt like, right?
Yeah, I gave up on it. I thought, you know what I'm saying, Captain Cold has came back more times than we thought that. We were going to get prison.
Like, hey, if he wants to come back to the Arrowverse, I don't think Wentworth Miller would, but I would certainly love to see him for sure. Gabriel also says, while I'm upset about this in regards to Black Lightning, I do feel that it's better to go out while the show is still good, as opposed to start running out of steam. I'd rather have 4 great seasons instead of 6 or 7 mess seasons. Yeah, I definitely get what you're saying, Gabriel, and I do think in most regards, I probably would agree with that with other shows. But I think because of the fact that, like, for me at least, when it comes to Black Lightning, they've done such a good job of having a tight storyline, 15 or 16 episodes. It's never like 21 or 22 where it's oversaturated with filler, where it feels like it's drawn out. It feels like if they have a season, then they have a story to tell, right? So if they were to tell me, hey, we have a season 5 and a season 6, I don't even know if those would be mess seasons, because I don't, if you give another 15 episodes, I feel like just how consistent it's been over the past 3 years, it makes me feel as though it would probably still be consistent in a 5th and a 6th season also. But I think that has in part to do with it having lesser episodes too.
Supernatural had 4 great seasons, then had 7 mess seasons, and then got good again. So I don't want to hear none of that.
But like that too, and the fact that to me, it definitely felt like they were really setting up for multiple seasons after the end of season 3. Like they already were planning ahead for season 4 and season 5. So I think it just should have gone until the writer just decided, okay, I've told every story I wanted to tell.
Yeah, and so like I said with Gabriel, I definitely understand where you're coming from, Gabriel, because like for other shows, I can definitely see that being true and holding true. But I do think that Black Lightning is a different case in and of itself. But we'll see what happens. We'll see if there's a bigger plan to this or not.
We'll see.
Let's see here. What else we got? Bacon Sushi says many trolls already want the Arrowverse to completely die. They say all the other CW shows start sucking right after Arrow ended. Stuart, I want to bring that to you too, because you mentioned the idea in the past that you were worried about CW either canceling its shows or like the idea of DC television eventually being non-existent on CW. Do you feel like it's going down that path, even with some of these announcements that we've gotten for new series, yet the cancellation of others? Like, do you feel as though they still have this strong appetite to continue along with this, or are they just grasping for straws, do you think?
Yeah, like I feel like my opinion has definitely changed this last week because of the announcement of not only like the Wonder Girl TV show, but the Painkiller show as well. It definitely feels like there's enough people that really want to keep the show going that I feel like Warner Brothers themselves aren't going to worry about it for a while until the ratings like really drop. But for now, despite like the Arrowverse having its many people that'll like kind of complain about it, despite the fact that they clearly don't watch it, it still seems to have very strong ratings, and whatever it's doing right, because Netflix is still constantly trying to buy each season as they come out onto their website. So they wouldn't be doing that if it wasn't getting views.
Absolutely. Yeah, I definitely agree with you.
Echo everything he said. You take the Arrowverse shows off the air, and what you're left with is Riverdale.
That's true. Absolutely true. And then we kind of highlighted this a little bit. Are you ready for Batwoman season 2? Clearly Indy is definitely not. I'm kind of excited. I feel like I haven't seen enough from Javicia Leslie yet outside of the teasers to really, like, I haven't seen her in anything, honestly. So this will be my first introduction to her. So a part of me is hoping that she nails this role. I've at least really enjoyed her new look that we've seen. So hopefully she fits the part.
They should have just recast Kate Kane and had Crystal Reed do it. She's not doing that. She's not doing that. Huh? She's not doing nothing right now. I mean, I'm happy that she got work after Teen Wolf. She was only on like 2 seasons before they killed her off. And like, she's not doing nothing on Swamp Thing right now because that's canceled. She could have easily slid into the Kate Kane role.
It's a good suggestion, man. I didn't even think about Crystal Reed, but I've been really impressed with her in Swamp Thing. And if you guys are not watching Swamp Thing, do yourselves a favor. Please go ahead and do so. This is your second opportunity to try and watch this season.
It was on DC.
It might be your last opportunity. But definitely go ahead and check it out. I've been really impressed with the season so far. But other than that, guys, I think that's actually going to wrap it up for us today. So thank you, each and every one of you, for certainly joining us today, spending your weekend here with us. I'm probably about to go ahead and get into some football for the remainder of my weekend, to say the least. But what do you guys got going? You guys got any big plans this weekend or what?
I got no work today, so I'm probably going to watch some football too.
Yeah, I'm still unpacking, but you got that Packers-Colts game later today too. So.
Ooh, yeah, that'll be a good one. Looking forward to that. But guys, listen, at the end of the day, we just want to say thank you very much for joining us this weekend. We will, in fact, be back next weekend for another live episode every Sunday at 11 a.m. Central Time, where we'll keep you up to date on all the news that's going on in Marvel, DC, television, and movies. But Indy, if people want to go ahead and reach out to you guys on social media, where can they find you at, Indy?
First off, find me right here on A+ Hero Report doing news and reviews. But you can also follow me on Instagram, Twitter, everywhere at Nerd Mix Alpha. New song Broken right now, all streaming services.
And what about you, Stuart? If they want to reach out to you, where can they find you on social media?
You guys can find me at TurboStew01 on Twitter. You can also check out my YouTube, my old YouTube channel, Turbo Studios. On there, actually, real quick announcement. I actually do have a new series that I'm going to try to have ready by January. I'm still kind of writing a script for it, but essentially it's going to be kind of I won't call it a review, because it's definitely not a review series. It's more of just me being an asshole making fun of really bad movies. But yeah, essentially it's going to be a web series where I'm just getting stoned and watching really bad movies and making fun of them.
So it's like Stuart's version of Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Exactly. It'll be more like it'll be like a mixture of Mystery Science Theater 3000, Cinema Snob, and Brandon Tonalda. I'm not sure if you guys ever watch those channels.
Gotcha. Hey, man, I'm really looking forward to that now. I'm definitely going to look forward to that. But yeah, definitely go ahead and follow them, guys, whenever you get the opportunity. And of course, here, if you want to go ahead and follow us on social media, you can go ahead and do so at A+ Opinions right up here. You can find us on our main page, which is our Facebook page over there. We're also on Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch for you gamers as well. And of course, guys, listen, if you love our content here, we're continuing to grow A+ Hero Report as a YouTube channel. If you love what you see, hit that subscribe button, ladies and gentlemen, along with that bell notification. So when we do drop brand new videos, you will certainly be notified. But other than that, that's going to do it for us here today. So we'll certainly see you guys next weekend. In the meantime, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and keep it A+. We'll talk to you guys later. Bye.